2015's Kung Fury, a self-funded film directed and starring David Sandberg, is a genuine delight. 30 minutes of parody, action, and loving tributes to the 1980s martial art movies, it respects the films of old while still proving entertaining in its own right. Even down to the visual wear and distortion of an old VHS tape and cheesy visual effects, it's all here. Like quite a few of the movies that inspired it, Kung Fury would get a game adaptation known as Street Rage. As the film pays homage to a certain genre of film, this ode to beat-em-ups of the late 80s tries to capture the same energy, humour, and nutsy killing of the featurette. But unfortunately, the experience doesn't quite match to the excellence of the film. If you ever wondered whether pummeling Nazis to death would get dull, play this simplistic action game and you'll find out soon enough. Released to tie in with the 2015 film of the same name, Kung Fury sees the titular character, along with his comrades consisting of a female barbarian flanked by 4 and his impeccable pecs, a hacker and a cop with a triceratops head, trapped in a digital world while dealing with waves of Nazi goons and a literal arcade machine. The strong part of Street Rage is the humour, which mimics the rather funny short to a T. Witty dialogue, campy voiceover, and plenty of gaming puns should please fans of the featurette, even if the brief story barely feels as long as the 30-minute short it's based on.
Another hero to rise against the villains of this world.
Hero? Villain? I'm the Viking with a Gatling gun.
Did someone say guns?
Unfortunately, it's the gameplay which doesn't deliver. Street Rage is a 2-button beat-em-up, with one attack striking either left or right. You fight 5 different Nazi types, ranging from standard grunts to red ninjas who dodge after you attempt to strike. Each enemy type takes more hits to put down, but it's mostly a case of clearing each side quickly rather than developing a strategy. Kills build a combo, with missed attacks and damage taken seeing the counter decrease, while higher multipliers reward more points in endless mode. It's an incredibly basic game, and while the rhythmic action flows well, and you can find a comfortable control setup across the whole of the DualShock, it becomes repetitive quickly due to a lack of depth and variation. The action takes place on the same back alley screen that swaps between daylight and nighttime, and outside of story, an hour of gameplay will likely prove exhaustive enough to see what this game has to offer. Despite the addition of content through updates, Kung Fury still feels wafer thin. Endless is the primary mode of play, throwing enemies at you until your hearts deplete from taking damage. Along with Kung Fury himself, you can also play as his 3 companions, each offering a different style of play. Hackerman requires multiple presses to charge up, but can disintegrate sequential enemies quickly. Triceracop allows for faster shooting, and Chained kills with Barbariana charge a minigun which clears enemies in one direction. While it's fun to try out these different characters through the story, it's essentially a slight alteration on the same gameplay. The story mode, which, while benefiting from the humour that enamoured many to Kung Fury in the first place, lasts around half an hour, though it can prove challenging. The experience suffers from repetitive scraps with a boss character that only alters slightly between each fight due to the changing protagonist. Kung Fury does benefit from a solid presentation. The retrograde visuals look colourful and animate nicely, mimicking the pixel art of early 90s beat-em-ups, and there's some cool flurries such as gruesome finishes after certain kills. It's just a shame all the action takes place on a singular background, forgoing the varied locales of the featurette. The sound is great, with awesome voice acting that echoes the comedy short perfectly, funny dialogue, and pretty decent effects for punching. there's a handful of toe-tapping tracks taken from the main film, though they can loop a touch long at points. It's worth bearing in mind that Kung Fury Street Rage started as a free mobile game, and you can notice it clearly as soon as you load it. This parody's jump into the video game space is one which doesn't lack charm and style, but the brevity of its 2-button gameplay definitely hurt it. Even at a price that fell below a $5, until the Ultimate Edition came along, you can't help but feel shortchanged. Those who loved classics like Streets of Rage or Double Dragon may find value from this tough, if very brief distraction. But for the discerning gamer, it proves too bereft of modes and too light on gameplay to keep you occupied for longer than a single session.
If I don't make it back, I just want you all to know, Kung Fury